Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful books ever written about money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, written by Robert T. Kiyosaki, a book that has changed the way millions of people think about money, success, and financial freedom. Now, this is not just a book. It's a mindset shift, a completely different way of looking at how money works, and why most people, no matter how hard they work, still struggle financially. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why schools teach us everything, but never teach us how to handle money? Why we are told to study hard, get a good job, work your whole life, and somehow that is supposed to make us rich. But in reality, most people follow this path and still end up living paycheck to paycheck. Now, here's where this book becomes different. Because Rich Dad, Poor Dad doesn't just give advice, it tells a story. A story of two fathers, two completely different mindsets. One father, highly educated, working hard, but always struggling with money. The other father, less educated, but financially smart. And eventually, very wealthy. And through their lessons, you start to see the truth about money, the truth about jobs, and the truth about why the rich keep getting richer. Is in this video, you're going to learn why the rich don't work for money, what the difference between assets and liabilities really is, why your job alone will never make you rich, and the mindset that can completely change your financial future. So listen carefully, because what you're about to hear might change the way you think about money forever. Part 1. Two different mindsets. Let me tell you about the two fathers, not by their names, but by the way they thought. Because in the end, it's not about who they were, it's about how they saw money. The first father was highly educated, very smart, respected by everyone. He believed in working hard. He believed in job security. He believed that education was the key to success. He used to say, study hard, get good grades, find a safe and stable job. And honestly, that sounds right, doesn't it? That's exactly what most of us are taught. But here's where it gets interesting. The second father was not highly educated, but he understood something most people don't. He understood money. He believed that working for money would keep you stuck forever. He used to say, don't work for money, make money work for you. Now stop for a second and really think about that. One father said, work hard for money. The other said, let money work for you. Two simple ideas, but they lead to completely different lives. The first father worked his whole life, earned a good salary, but always worried about money, always thinking about bills, always depending on his next paycheck. The second father focused on building assets, focused on creating income sources, and slowly, money started working for him. He didn't chase money. Money started coming to him. Now, here's the most important lesson. It's not about how much money you earn. It's about how you think about money, because your mindset controls your decisions, and your decisions create your future. Most people follow the first mindset because it feels safe. But the truth is, playing safe is actually the biggest risk. Because if you always work for money, you will always need to work. But if you learn how money works, there will come a day when money starts working for you. Part 2. The biggest lie about money. Let's talk about the biggest lie. The lie almost everyone believes. If I earn more money, I will become rich. Sounds logical, right? But here's the truth. That idea is completely wrong, because earning more money does not make you rich. In fact, for most people, the more they earn, the more they spend. Think about it. When your income increases, what do you usually do? Well, you upgrade your lifestyle. You buy a better phone, a better bike, a bigger house. You start spending more because now you can afford it. But here's the trap. As your income goes up, your expenses go up too. And suddenly, you are still stuck, still working, still depending on your salary, still worrying about money. This is called the rat race, a never-ending cycle. You work hard, you earn money, you spend it, then you have to work even harder to maintain that lifestyle. And it keeps going again and again and again. No matter how much you earn, you never feel truly free. Now here's the real problem. Most people think, my salary is my biggest asset. But it's not. Because the moment you stop working, that money stops coming. So it's not freedom. It's dependency. True wealth is not about income. It's about freedom. Freedom from worrying about bills. Freedom from needing a paycheck. Freedom to live life on your own terms. And that only happens when your money starts working. For you, not when you keep working for it. So the next time you think, I just need to earn more, stop and ask yourself, am I building wealth or just increasing my expenses? Because that one question can break you out of the rat race forever. Part 3, assets versus liabilities. Now we come to the most important lesson, the lesson that can completely change your financial life. Assets and liabilities. These two words may sound boring, but trust me, if you understand this, you understand money. Let's keep it very simple. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. That's it. No complicated definitions. No confusing terms. Just one simple idea. If it gives you money, it's an asset. If it costs you money, it's a liability. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think they are buying assets, but in reality, they are buying liabilities. For example, a big house. People say, my house is my biggest asset. But think about it. Does it give you money every month? Or does it take money from you? For EMI? For maintenance? For bills? If money is going out, it's not an asset. It's a liability. Same with cars. You buy a new car. The moment you drive it, its value goes down. And every month, the fuel, maintenance, insurance. Money keeps going out. That's not making you rich. That's making you poorer. Slowly. Now let's look at real assets. Assets are things like a rental property. That gives you income every month. Stocks that grow in value over time. A business that earns money even when you're not working. These things put money into your pocket, and that is what makes you rich. Now here's the secret of the rich. They don't buy luxuries first. They buy assets, and then the income from those assets pays for their luxuries. Let that sink in. They don't use their salary to buy expensive things. They use their assets. So while others are showing off, the rich are quietly building income, step by step, asset by asset, and over time, that income grows until one day, they don't need to work anymore because their assets are working for them. So from today, before you buy anything, ask yourself one simple question. Is this putting money into my pocket or taking money out? Because that one question can change your financial future forever. Part 4. Why jobs won't make you rich. Let's talk about something most people won't tell you. A job will not make you rich. Yes, it can give you income, it can give you stability, but it will not give you true financial freedom. Now think about how we are raised. From childhood, we are told, study hard, get good grades, find a good job. And if you do all that, you'll be successful. But here's the truth. That system was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to make you an employee, someone who works for money. Now let's understand the problem. When you have a job, you are trading your time for money. You work for 8 hours. You get paid. You stop working. The money stops too. That means your income is limited because your time is limited. No matter how hard you work, you only have 24 hours in a day. So there is always a limit. Now here's another problem. Taxes. Employees pay the highest taxes before you even receive your salary. A part of it is already gone, and whatever is left, you spend on expenses, bills, rent, EMI, daily needs. So even if your salary increases, you don't feel rich because your expenses increase too. Now here's the biggest mistake people make. They think, if I get a higher paying job, I'll become rich. But all that does is increase your lifestyle, not your wealth. So what should you do? Should you quit your job? No. That's not the point. The point is, don't work just for money. Work to learn. Learn skills, because skills are more valuable than salary. Learn how to sell. Learn how to communicate. Learn how money works. Learn how businesses grow. Because these skills can create income even without a job. And that is the real goal, to reach a point where you are not dependent on a paycheck, where your income does not stop, even when you stop working. So remember this, a job can pay your bills, but it will never make you financially free. Only assets and the right skills can do that. Part 5, the power of financial education. Now let's talk about something that changes everything. Financial education? This is the one thing that separates the rich from everyone else. And the sad truth is, we are never taught this in school. We learn math, we learn science, we learn history, but no one teaches us how money works, how to manage it, how to grow it. And because of that, most people spend their entire lives working for money without ever understanding it. Now think about this. If you don't understand money, how can you control it? You can't. And that's exactly what happens. People earn money, but they don't know how to manage it. So they fall into debt, credit cards, loans, AMs, and slowly they lose control. But when you have financial education, everything changes. You start to see opportunities. You understand the difference between assets and liabilities. You make smarter decisions. You stop wasting money and start building wealth. Now here's the key idea. The rich don't just work for money. They learn about money, they read books, they study investments, they understand how businesses work, because they know the more they understand money, the easier it becomes to make it, to grow it, and to keep it. Let me say that again. It's not just about making money. It's about keeping it and growing it. And that only comes with knowledge. So if you really want to change your life, start learning. Read books, watch videos, understand how money works. Because once you understand it, money stops being confusing and starts becoming a tool that you can use to build the life you want. So remember, Your financial future does not depend on your salary. It depends on your knowledge. And the more you learn, the more powerful you become in the world of money. Part 6, Mindset of the Rich. Now let's talk about the real difference. The difference you can't see, but it changes everything. Mindset. Because in the end, money is not just about numbers. It's about how you think. Now look around. Most people think like this. I can't afford it. It's a very common sentence. You hear it everywhere. When something is expensive, when something feels out of reach, people immediately say, I can't afford it. And the moment they say that, their thinking stops. No ideas, no solutions, just a full stop. Now let's look at how the rich think. They don't say, I can't afford it. Instead, they ask, how can I afford it? Now feel the difference. One statement shuts your brain off. The other forces your brain to think, to find ways, to create opportunities. And that small shift changes everything. Now here's another difference. Poor mindset fears losing money. They avoid risks. They stay in their comfort zone because they are afraid. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? But the rich, they see failure differently. They don't see it as the end. They see it as a lesson, a step forward, a way to learn, because they know every mistake teaches something, and every lesson makes them stronger. Now understand this clearly. The rich are not fearless. They also feel fear, but they don't let fear control their decisions. They take calculated risks. They learn. They adapt. They grow. And slowly, they move ahead, while others stay stuck. Now here's a powerful truth. Your life today is the result of your mindset, and your future will also be decided by how you think. So if you want to become rich, start changing your mindset. Start asking better questions. Start thinking in solutions instead of problems. Because once your mindset changes, your actions change. And once your actions change, your entire life begins to change. That is the mindset of the rich. Part 7, Overcoming Fear and Starting. Now comes the most important step, starting. Because no matter how much you learn, no matter how much you understand, if you don't take action, then nothing changes. Now here's the truth. Most people already know what they should do. Save money, invest, build assets. But they still don't start. Why? Because of fear. Fear of losing money, fear of failure, fear of making mistakes, fear of what others will say. And this fear stops them before they even begin. Now listen carefully. Fear is normal. Everyone feels it. Even successful people. Even rich people. They also feel afraid, but here's the difference. They don't let fear stop them. They take action anyway. Now think about this. If you never start, you will never learn. And if you never learn, you will never grow. So the real risk is not failing. The real risk is doing nothing. Staying in the same place, year after year. Now here's what you need to do. Start small. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need to be perfect. Just take the first step. Learn something new, try something, make a small investment. And yes, you might make mistakes. You might lose some money. But that's okay, because every mistake teaches you something valuable, and that lesson is worth more than the loss. Over time, you get better, you get smarter, you become more confident, and slowly, fear starts to disappear. Because now, you understand what you're doing. So don't wait. Don't overthink. Don't let fear control your life. Take action, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect, because that one step can change everything. And remember, the people who succeed are not the ones who are fearless. They are the ones who act despite the fear. Conclusion. Now let's bring everything together, all the lessons, all the ideas, into one simple truth. Money is not just about earning. It's about understanding. Understanding how it works, how it grows, and how to control it. Now think about what you learned. Most people work for money, but the rich make money work for them. Most people buy liabilities, thinking they are assets, while the rich focus on building assets first. Most people depend on a job, while the rich build multiple sources of income. And the biggest difference is mindset, because everything starts from how you think. If you think like everyone else, you will live like everyone else. But if you change your mindset, you can change your future. Now here's the most important question. What are you going to do next? Will you keep doing the same things, or will you start thinking differently? Because this knowledge only works if you take action. Start learning, start building assets, start improving your mindset, step by step, day by day, and over time, your life will begin to change. So remember this, your financial future is not decided by your degree. It's not decided by your job. It is decided by your decisions and the actions you take starting today. So start now, because the sooner you begin, the sooner you move closer to financial freedom. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, press the bell icon so you never miss any new videos and get all the latest informative content as soon as it's released.